Good afternoon, Austin. I hope everyone is enjoying their week and enjoying some sunshine and a little bit warmer weather after that little cold spell. So hope your day is going well. I am joined today by Kelly and Pavel of Backyard Pod. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down and chat with me.
Yeah,
Right on. Happy to be here.
So your guys' company obviously does, name Backyard Pod, so it seems pretty straightforward, does kind of mini pods for making, say, backyard spaces, whether it be like maybe a backyard office or kind of a guest suite, or I'm assuming a lot of different things. And we were talking about exercise stuff right before you got here. Like that's been a big thing with COVID and gym closings, is needing a place to work out and stuff. So why don't you kind of maybe give us a little brief, quick history kind of the company itself?
Certainly. Kelly, you mind if I take this one?
Please.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I personally been involved in construction industry for years, just doing home renovation projects and things like that. Essentially anything construction related, right? However, my background was in finance and accounting, and that was my main job. And I had someone approach me in 2020 to build a small space for them it was actually for a significant other to be able to work from. And they showed me a picture of one of the competitors and they said, hey, can you build something like this for me? And I looked at it and I said, I can build something for you, but quite honestly, it's kind of ugly. So I can build you something a little bit better looking if you don't mind. So quickly put together a design, shared it with that person. I said, before we start building, go to your neighbors, make sure that they're okay with it, and then we'll proceed, right? That turned into 2 more orders, right? So little light bulb went off, and I thought to myself, well, this could be a business, right? So let's put together a website and let's see if people would be interested. And lo and behold, they were. So we got a bunch of orders fairly quickly, and that's when everything starts getting, kind of a little crazy, right? We gotta set up pipelines. That's right. Fine. If we
that's when it gets real. You go from I can do this thing to where shoot, like people are expecting us to actually deliver on the things that we're showing on this website.
Absolutely, yeah. It is a wild ride. I mean, this is just the only way to describe it. But we had so far, not so far. I'm sure it will be the same way. We had just absolutely fantastic customers, a really great team that we work with, and we just couldn't ask for better people to be working together on this. So this was about a little bit over a year ago. We've delivered, I think at this point, 50 or 60 pods. I lost track at this point. And we have very happy customers, and the story that really what gives us, because it's a hard business to be in. Construction is very, very hard. You don't realize how difficult everything is, particularly with the supply chain.
Especially, the last
labor, right? What gives us that win in our sales is just the life-changing effect that pods have on people's environment. They just literally word life-changing is what comes up in our customer reviews. They went from being constantly stressed out, having kids running around and dogs barking and parrots flying, through the background, and cats jumping on their cameras and keyboards, right? To a zen space where you can lock the front door. Our pods come with locks. For that purpose, you can close the curtains and say, just leave me alone, right? Let me be productive. And it really improves people's quality of life, and the mental health has been such a hot topic right now, and we are helping with that, right? The best prescription for your anxiety is a pod, right? Might not be the easiest one, but it is the best one you can get these days. So here we are. Kelly joined us a few months ago as our director of growth, simply because the company has been just met with so much demand, right? And we, when Kelly and I initially met, she was just a perfect fit for the organization, and she's been helping us to take the company to the next level. So anything you would like to add, Kelly?
No, I think, leave it at that. I love the origin story and how I was just blown away that it's been word of mouth, and that's really been it. It's one neighbor gets it, they see it, and then the two on the other side are asking for it. And so that's kind of been the best part, and that's what drew me to this. It's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome having that organic growth for sure. So I know, since I kind of chatted a little bit or emailed back and forth with Kelly a little bit, so I know maybe a little bit more of her background, but so can I ask her first? So I know you're not a native Austinite. Kind of what's your story as far as coming to Austin and kind of making that move like a lot of other transplants? Was it specifically for the role here, or what was kind of the genesis of that?
Yeah, so for myself, it was specifically for the role here. So really exciting. I have some family as well in Austin. And same thing, just work opportunity, as I know a lot of people are in the similar position. So yeah, I'm from Canada originally, and just kind of did a Zoom call like this with Pavel, and I was just kind of blown away by the setup of the company and really excited, just kind of his vision and where he wanted to go. So yeah, made the 36-hour drive, and here we are, at probably a 50-degree difference. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah. This time of year, you're not too upset about probably having the weather being above freezing, and the longer days, right? Like I'm sure maybe in the middle of summer it was a little weird having. So I'm originally from the Midwest, Michigan, Minnesota, and so in the summer it's a little weird to not have it be daylight till 9:30, 10 o'clock. But in the winter, it's nice to have that extra half hour, 40 minutes of daylight.
100%.
How about for you, Pavel? How did you kind of get to Austin?
So I lived. I'm originally from Poland, actually, and that's that's partially why POD is kind of, and this is not POD. This expands to mini homes, right, and the architecture in general. I've grown up with a different environment, right? So I think what helps in being successful is having a slightly different mindset. And I think Kelly is really complementing my thoughts in here too, being from a different country too. Right, we're all kind of, whenever we are facing an issue, we can bring different perspectives, different design ideas, right, and different approaches to things. So, grew up in Western Poland, right by German border, and and the architecture is different over there, and the homes are different. And one of the things that made me want to get into this is that number one, architecture has not changed at all in America, or the way you build structures, right, for like the last 100 years, right? So can we do something differently? Can we do something more efficiently, right? Number two, the design is also kind of traditional, right? And looking at competitors, it all looks very similar, right? So can we do something a little bit more modern, a little bit more unique, right? But also very beautiful. So all of that background being from a different country helps me we bring this in. And I moved to Austin 3 years ago, and I moved. My fiance and I met in Australia, and she lived in San Diego, I lived in Philadelphia, and either one of us wanted to move to each other's city. So we just traveled around and came to Austin, fell in love, and it has been our dream to move here. So we sold all of our belongings and got into our car and drove to Austin 3 years ago. So kind of similar story as Kelly, with the difference that at the time I didn't have a job. I was going to Austin. Literally, both of us were calling and doing phone interviews on the way to Austin. Within 2 weeks of getting here, we both got jobs. And the rest is history. And one of the things I guess that I try to always bring up as somewhat relevant or important is that my background is actually in public accounting, and I'm an accountant, and I work in finance and consulting for a bunch of years as a CPA. And one of the things that we try to bring to construction industry is professional services and professional experience that we've offered as consulting professionals in the past in our environment to the construction industry. Every single person I know has a horror story about working with a contractor, right? Not being on the phones, not responding to emails, asking for more money, half project, right? All of those things are so stressful, right? And we already, it's 2022, right? We already have way too much stress as we here. So we don't need another contractor that is stressing me out in addition to that. So as an organization, we try to make a transparent process, easy to follow process, simple, and with a great customer experience to our clients. and and all that experience, all of that time we spend in professional services helping us bring this here and offer that to our clientele.
So you mentioned starting the business in 2020. So obviously it was already right in the middle of the pandemic, which accelerated kind of the need for having multi-use space at home or needing more space at home, right? Because obviously everyone at that point in time was working from home and doing those kind of things. You mentioned the first space you did was for an office space.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been what the majority of the pods that you've done have kind of been for, or did it very quickly turn into other types of spaces like we talked about, workout spaces or guest accommodation spaces, all those kind of things? Or has it been still more kind of focused on office workspace?
Yeah, so definitely kind of initially it was office space primarily, people working from home. And now a lot of companies that, were kind of sticklers saying, no, you're going to come back, are also saying at minimum hybrid system. So definitely, still busy with a lot of offices. That being said, what people love about Backyard Pod especially is that they have turned into these kind of flex spaces. So like the one that we're in right now, it's half office, half gym.
I can even maybe
do a little
twist the camera a little bit, so you can really tell, but there is a gym setup right in the background. So it's a space big enough that you can tuck in your chair under your desk, right? And you can very easily squeeze a workout in, whether it's in the morning or midday, right? So very convenient.
Lots of fun there with people, whether it's a studio as well, whether that's art studio, music studio, you name it. And then even just people coming in from out of town and visiting and wanting somewhere to crash. So it's cool because, we initially thought office and now it's just turned into so many other things in addition to that.
For you guys, obviously only being a year old, has it been something where it's been just a local thing? Because obviously with construction-wise, construction is generally hard to do at a large scale geographically. But I assume with the pods and stuff, there'd be the potential, depending on the size of them, to ship them out other places too, right? Like shipping containers have kind of been an in vogue thing in a lot of different areas, although they're impossible to get now as well too. So have you guys seen traction? Is it primarily, obviously it's gonna be primarily in Austin if it's word of mouth, but what's the scope, or is there a plan for more regional or national kind of growth as well too?
It's a great question, Troy. We definitely get requests and inquiries from all over the United States, and even outside. We have people reaching out from Belgium, from Bermuda, right? So someone from Bermuda. All over the world, there's requests for pods, which is wonderful. We take it as a compliment and we love it. But quality is extremely important to us, and that is something that we are focusing on. There's a few different options we're considering about growth outside of Austin. One of them is through franchise system, right? Another one is about just opening another division of the company in different cities. All of those things are very difficult to accomplish with great quality being sustained at the same time, right? So we're very careful about that. The demand that we get in Austin is high enough that we are growing still at an incredible rate. And for now, we are focusing on setting up systems, but with a thought of us expanding to other cities, right? So how can we create a system that when we're ready, we can pull the trigger and all the gears and all the things are in places where they need to be for us to grow to the other cities. So the plan is that we are going to be expanding to other Texas cities within the next 12 months. And then after that, we'll be hoping to expand to other states as well. We are currently working on a product essentially that can be shipped as a flat pack. So anyone, anywhere in the US can assemble it, right? But even with that still, it is the product that what we love delivering to our customers is a product that is a great quality, that is going to last, right? And that to be properly installed and be there for a long time without any issues is a challenge. And we're working very hard on making sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted for us to accomplish just that.
And that's one of the advantages of still being small, right? Is you can still see a lot of growth here locally, and then potentially in some of the systems you have to put in place to make that growth go smoothly and maintain that high level of quality will, I'm sure, help you guys win. And if you guys expand outside of Austin, to kind of have some of those systems in place to kind of keep that quality level high in other parts of the country.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
What's been probably your biggest? I mean, again, in 2020 when you first started, I don't know if you had any plans or thoughts that this would become a business necessarily when you first, did your first one or two. But what have been kind of your biggest challenges in running the business? And I guess on that front too, is this the first business that you've owned and run yourself?
hmm this is not the first business. The first business thinking back was me selling candles on, in front of us. Thursday holidays of All Saints Day, right? And when I was probably like 12 years old, I started this business of selling candles in front of a cemetery for All Saints Day, just so I get some pocket money, right?
Yeah.
So I've always had a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, and some of the there's a candle business, right? And then I had a web design business, a photography business, did some IT and financial consulting in the meantime, but it was all side projects, right? None of it was a venture where I said, okay, well, this is my financial well-being in future is now invested in this, right? So Backyard Pod is the first big venture like that. Part of the reason why I worked in public accounting and in consulting is because I wanted to understand how small company can go to a large organization, right? And I specifically picked the role for that reason. I worked for a small company first, and it always kind of boggled my mind, how is a 100,000 people company operating, right? How do they function, right? And I said, you know what, I'm just going to find out. I quit my job and I went working for a 100,000 people company just to see all the layers, right? So both Kelly and I, and Kelly worked for a small business before too, in a leadership role. We both have an experience where we've seen organizations go from small to very large, right? And all the gears, all the steps that need to be put in motion to accomplish that, right? So that's what we've been trying to do at Backyard Pod. And there's a lot of startups, there's a lot of organizations that are out there, right? There's a lot of people who have great ideas, right? And there's a lot of companies that try to do what we do, right? And they have beautiful designs and they have beautiful products, right? But there's this one key term that is extremely important for businesses, and that's deliverability, right? Ability to actually build it, finish it, and do it over and over again, right? And that's something that is extremely important to us at Backyard Pod. Back home in Poland, we have a saying that I always try to bring up, is that there's two types of people. There's people with a big mouth to talk and a small hand to work, and there's people with a big hand to work and a small mouth to talk, right? And we try to be the ones with a big hand, right? So we focus on the product and we get to work and we accomplish that and we get it done. And that's why we can continue delivering our pods over and over at the prices we can, offering warranty, being there for our customers when they need us. And by having some of those core values, right? Great customer experience, beautiful and functional products, that is what has been helping us being successful here in Austin.
Yeah, no, as someone who gets to network a lot, I'll talk to different, either people that are, have their own business or maybe are thinking about it. And that's always one of the things that kind of surprises me is every once in a while I have someone that's, has an idea, but that they don't want to really share, right? Because they think the idea is what's going to make or break stuff. And in reality, ideas are a dime a dozen, right? Like, Facebook wasn't the first social network. Uber wasn't the first rideshare company. Like, it's really the execution that's going to make the business successful on a small or large scale. But it's always interesting how a lot of people think that the idea or again, a beautifully designed product is just going to automatically sell itself, when in reality, if you can't execute on, again, all those orders that started to come in once people heard about you guys, that would have been the end of that, because you couldn't actually deliver and execute.
Yeah, that is a very good observation. Absolutely. And you did ask also about challenges, and there's new challenges every day. Right now, the biggest challenge we're facing is the materials, right? Every single time we place an order, there is probably 15 to 20% of things we're ordering that are out of stock, and we have to source a different supplier, and the different supplier may be in a different city, and it's going to be more expensive. And it is, I don't want to say it's a nightmare because we do it with a smile on our faces and with pride and pleasure, but it's difficult, it's challenging. Another thing is working with or sourcing a labor force, right? And we're very lucky that we have an extremely good team. We love our team, and we're really happy to have them. But for growth purposes, it's difficult, right? Sourcing talent and finding them and retaining, right, is not easy, but we've been very lucky. We pay a lot of attention to it. We put a lot of time and effort into it, and so far so good. So it's not an easy business. I always say to our customers, I always try to on our initial kickoff projects, I bring it up and say, and maybe Kelly's nervously laughing over here, so I don't know if I should say it, but I use a dental comparison, saying like, we make it sound like it's very easy, right? We're going to make it very easy to you, but it's going to be kind of like getting a root canal, right? It's complex. There's going to be digging, there's going to be cutting and nailing and all of that. But guess what? We're here with the laughing gas that we're going to provide you. We'll hold your hand. We're going to make it extremely nice and pleasurable for you, and you won't feel anything. And at the end, you're going to be very happy with the results. So just bear with us. If anything goes wrong, and this construction industry, statistically speaking, something will go wrong, right? Just call us and we'll make it right for you. So that's all it takes. So you have great project managers in place. You have all layers that you can reach out to of escalation. Just call us, and we always make it right to our customers. So there's things coming up every day, but we work hard on making sure that at the end everything is done the right way and everyone's happy.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. So again, as a real estate agent, dealing with some clients who might be doing remodel stuff, or if they're trying to purchase new construction stuff, right? Like say, I run into a lot of the same issues, maybe not on a daily basis, but new construction projects that get delayed by weeks or months to get a home completed, or the challenges of getting a home remodeled, right? Like there's, on the remodel side of things, contractors are so busy that if you want a really small job done, most of them don't have the time. It's not financially successful and stuff for them. So that's one of the things that I, in similar kind of concept, talk with my clients. Like the process is going to be more stressful than you think. Like it just seems like, oh, I'm going to get a house built, or I'm going to get this done. The process, I guarantee, will be more stressful than you think, but I'm going to be here to help walk you through it, to be a sounding board, to help when things look like they're not going to get fixed, to help make sure they do get fixed, and those kind of things. And it's about trying to set that expectation that it's not going to be all just sunshine and sugar plums, and that it's going to be there's going to be some hard work involved, but it's worth it. That's the key component. It's still worth it, because at the end you're going to have something that's going to be more valuable and more important to you than the stress that was required along the way. Yeah.
You really hit it right on the head, Troy. It is having the right expectations, having the right approach, right, and then being there. Because to your point, I'm sure you get saying a lot of your customers have never went through this process before, right? And a lot of times you see the people's highlight reel, right, where it's like, well, here's my brand new home that I just built for myself, and I got this customized, and I got this customized, and I got this customized. Do you know how much time went in making sure this customization is done right? You have no idea, right? But all you see is this beautifully nicely finished home, right? So it's simple. I'm sure your clients love when you do that for them, Troy, because I can't express enough how setting the right expectation, how important that is.
Yeah. No, I know it's one of those that I really need to try to get. I mean, you'd have to get a client to agree to it, but almost have a more behind the scenes stuff, almost like HGTV wise or something like that, to really kind of help other people understand, that, like again, at the end, in almost every case, it's well worth it. But there are days where you are stressed the bleep out, and you have, clients that not only they're having to work, but they're suddenly thinking that their contract's going to fall through or whatever it is. And so like understanding that that's part of the process is as frustrating and as stressful as it might be. So Kelly, what did you see in Backyard Pod that made you say, hey, you know what, I need to leave Canada and come all the way down to Austin and work for this company, other than the warmer weather?
Yes, and his Polish jokes, but no, honestly, just seeing the way the world was going, and same as Pavel, went to university, business degree, and kind of got to work in a growing company. And so I actually was just on LinkedIn and saw some of the posts, and I fell in love with design as well. That was kind of being a side passion of mine. And then really it was meeting Pavel, and just kind of, we were both aligned in where this business could go. So yeah, and just having that drive and the vision for it, but then also putting in the work and the practicality of it all. So yeah, it's a crazy story how it all worked out so well, but it was just the really kind of where this company could go, and where we have been going. The trajectory of it has me really excited, and we have fun. We have a great team. Everyone loves working together. Everyone has the same vision. So yeah, that's kind of the most important part, is that sure, it's going well. The pods are beautiful. The clients are awesome, but we also have fun as a team together day to day.
Did you have a background working in smaller businesses or doing kind of entrepreneurship kind of stuff as well, or?
Yeah, it was a bit of both. I mean, if we're going back, you selling candles, I was selling lemonade, and then it was kind of starting out lemonade, and then all of a sudden I'm stealing my sister's Barbie dolls and selling them off, and and charging a premium, and saying anyway. So same thing, kind of in the spirit. Learned a lot, also just kind of from my parents in the entrepreneurial space, and definitely driven in that sense. And then lucky enough to have really some diverse experience, whether it was kind of a larger company and also a smaller one that grew in Canada. So yeah, I definitely get excited when it's smart business opportunity, great people that work there, and like-minded individuals that want and are willing to put in the work to take it somewhere. So it all aligned really well.
If I can add a little bit to Kelly's background, I think the reason why she was such a great fit is because her expertise was not only, she was applying for a sales position, right? That's essentially, that was the next step that we needed. But what really has got me excited about Kelly joining the organization was her also marketing and social media skills, which now to us, we are, majority of our business was either referrals or social media, right? Which 5 years ago, that was not the case, right? It was the search engine optimization and newspapers, right? And keywords in Google, right? Things like this. But now Instagram, Facebook, TikTok are just extremely powerful places for advertising and for gaining your customers, right? So Kelly had a ton of experience with that, had success with previous companies, and it was just a perfect fit, right? Not only be able to lead the sales, but also leading all the marketing efforts as well.
Thank you.
You guys obviously both haven't been in Austin too terribly long. Obviously Kelly a little bit last time. Was there anything surprising or that you had to adjust to in either of you or both of you in moving to Austin? Like what's kind of been?
Yeah, I know personally, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how many, sometimes it feels like I'm speaking a different language, but that's just Canadian versus American. I love the little pocket Austin is. Everyone is so friendly. It's been such an easy transition. And it's very exciting because it feels like, myself just moving here, looking to meet new people. A lot of people are kind of in the same boat. So it's been very easy meeting other people, which has been awesome. Like it's been very easy to kind of get involved in other things in the community. And it is a little bit like Keep Austin Weird is 100% a thing. Like getting to meet a lot of these clients and seeing their homes and different perspectives. I love it. I love how kind of colorful it is.
How about for you, Pavel?
Absolutely love Austin. Fantastic city. Love how outdoorsy it is, right? Food is fantastic. I've been still practicing my southern accent, so I'm still getting used to that a little bit. And I'm going to spare you that, but when I try my southern accent, I can literally see the physical pain I'm causing to other people. So I'm using it as a torture device for now. But in the future, I'm hoping to improve it to a point where I can just fit in, and no one's going to be pointing at this guy who is this, Polish weirdo over there. They would be saying like, oh, he's one of us, right? But that aside, great culture for the city. As Kelly mentioned, it's its own form of a melting pot, right? There's a lot of different melting pot cities, and they're all different. And Austin has its own nature. It's an extremely exciting city. I just love how there's so many things coming here and so many things happening in Austin and so many things you can do. And it's a very healthy city too. Yeah. Everyone takes care of themselves, exercises, right? I just love being in this environment, right? And that's why Pods also has been a great venture too, because it was a big commitment, right? Starting a business, signing a lease on our warehouse, right? okay, well, we're staying here for a little bit, right? Otherwise, we'll have, some debt collectors chasing us around the United States. So it was a big commitment, but we made it with a confidence, with a bunch of confidence. We absolutely loved it. So coming from Philadelphia and Poland before that, right? Winter weather, which right now is beautifully sunny, and it's January, right? It's unheard of for me. And I sent pictures to my family back in Poland. They're shoveling snow, and Kelly's doing the same thing in Canada, right? They're just like, how was your, trip to the store this morning on your skis? Well, like I'm walking around in my shorts and t-shirt here in Austin. That is just absolutely fantastic. And I also have to second what Kelly said about people just being absolutely wonderful. And I see that person with our customers. My fiance always laughs. I come home and I said, hey, we just met this new client. I think I'm gonna be like friends with them. It's super cool, And she's like, you say that every single time. Like every single time you come home, you're like, those people are awesome, So it really is it's exciting. It's just exciting place to be, exciting place to have a business, and and we're excited for the future. We're working hard on Backyard Pod to make sure that there is future because it is exciting.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of the things with Austin, and I'm sure there are, like, say, other cities like it too, but because there's been so much growth in Austin and so many people relocating, there's such a large pot of people who either, again, in the last year have just moved, or even if you did it 4 or 5 years ago, you still kind of remember that experience of moving, and so you're still building out your network of people. Where if you're in the Northeast or in California, where a lot of people have lived for 20, 30 years or 2 or 3 generations, like you kind of already have your social network at that point in time, and so it's not as welcoming. Where I think that's one of the reasons that Austin is has that kind of welcoming. It's easy to get integrated feel, and just the fact that people were willing to and wanted to relocate to Austin it's the people of that mindset that enjoy change, enjoy challenges and new things, and so meeting new people and networking with new people is kind of just, I think, a little bit in their DNA more so than maybe some people too.
Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So with pods, how varied or standardized are your guys' products? Like, I mean, again, right? You can't. I shouldn't say you can't. I don't know. You can't build a 3,000 square foot pod as a single family home. But like, what kind of options and stuff do people have, either size wise or for, again, the purpose? If it's trying to use it for office versus a guest suite type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So we, pods initially blowing up with office spaces. We've got it down to a science. So we do have 3 different sizes with that. And so we come in, within 30 days, you have a fully operating pod ready to go. And like we said, office space, studio, gym, you name it, people crashing. Now, we've had a lot of inquiries lately in kind of your mother-in-law pods. So now that's including a bathroom and potentially an extra room. So we've made them a little bit bigger. So that's kind of an option. Same exact build out, but again, and this has all just been from needs and what our clients are needing. People saying, well, what if I want a little bit more space because this person's saying, and I come to Pavel and he's like, sure, okay, let's figure it out. So
people saying, if I have to spend one more night with my mother-in-law on the same roof, I am going to, I don't know what will happen, right? We'll say, okay, own it.
100%. So that's kind of where this has come from. So we do have flexibility, kind of, we come out and we build on site. So we have the variability there. The 2 other exciting products that we have, one being our space pods. If you think of kind of like an Apple looking product, that's kind of what it looks like it just being all clear. We named it Space. It kind of looks like you could take this thing to the moon, but it's very portable. So people love it because it's a 2-day installation. Like, it comes pre-fitted with office space. So that is a little bit more specific for office use, where our pods are a little bit more of a flex room. So it's a little bit smaller, most affordable product. And then what's very exciting, and we've had so many opportunities with our gigapods. So that is now your luxury tiny home space. And that's coming with your full appliances as well, which I know a lot of people love that about it, because it's really, you're not having to worry about anything. And that's got a loft. Our 2-bedroom also has, That's 1.5 bath, and it's double sink, and it really, you know, is thought out and for the consumer in mind. And not only that, it looks really nice. I know Pavel, I love when he says, he's like, well, why do these tiny homes have to be ugly? Like, what's so that's kind of where this came from. So, you know, a lot of people interested in living in it or also just renting it out. So that's been kind of the fun that we've had with those 3 kind of main different streams of products. And we have some flexibility kind of in our pods.
Yeah, no, the living space kind of side of things is, I mean, all 3 of them have a lot of value, right? Like over the holidays, had family in town, and like it's fun to have them around. Like if nowadays, because people, if you can work remotely, can stay longer, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I need you around for a month. But like if you have your own space, if you can have that little bit more of a break, then it's obviously a lot more enjoyable for everyone in those regards. Or again, right, like there's I want to say it's like the commercial for VRBO that talks about how, you know, this is your exercise room / office / you know, library, study area and stuff. And so like being able to kind of take some of, you know, take one function for a room like that and put it somewhere else is just hugely beneficial for the mental sanity of a lot of people.
There's so many studies on that, Troy, too, of just having, you know, separate areas for different things. So it's like, okay, this is where I'm going to sleep. This is where I'm going to eat. This is where I'm going to work out. Where a lot of our clients, you know, especially growing families, now all of a sudden, A, you know, the one person's trying to be quiet on the phone to not wake the baby. B, they're both working from home. The one person's trying to work in their bed and then try to go to bed later, you know, or there's the laptop staring at them from the room. So just that along with the pods is kind of why we've been so busy with that.
What are some of the goals for 2022? So, you know, we're in the second week of the year. You guys have, obviously, again, right, we talked a little bit about some of the potential growth to expand and stuff. Maybe that's, you know, already in the first half of 2022 goals, or maybe that's longer term. Like what's kind of on the horizon over the next 12 months?
Certainly. No, that's the exciting part, right? It's the future, the planning. So realistically, in 2022, optimization of our operation is massive, right? But that's the boring goals, right? No one wants to talk about the boring goals. The exciting ones is that we're looking at developing a gigapod community outside of Austin, right? So we're looking for the right property right now and the right person to partner up on this effort with. There's a few different options that we will offer. There's going to be pods you can buy from us, and we're looking at a property where we can sell a pod with land, right? And someone living in Austin, how great would it be to be able to get away, right, and go for a weekend trip and stay in Wimberley area or Fredericksburg area, right, or Dripping Springs, right, for a night or two and decompress and, you know, go hiking or, you know, have a bonfire at night, all those cool things. Rest of the time, Airbnb, right? There is a deficiency of Airbnbs out there. So we're really offering a tremendous opportunity for our customers who would like to purchase a gigapod, because you can make really good money through Airbnb by purchasing one of the pods from us. And you also have a getaway spot for yourself too. Or if you have your family coming over, right, and it's your mother-in-law that loves to point out all the wrong things with you, right, you can say like, hey, I got this great spot for you to stay in Wimberley, you know, it's only 45-minute drive, right, so she's not going to be bringing down your neck too much, right, so it is, all in all, it would be a great opportunity for us to offer that. We're currently working with a few different lots that we're hoping to build our first gigapod park, right? Mm-hmm. We're looking at bringing up a few different product options as well, all of it being in a similar node as we do right now, which is standardized, right, but affordable with a quick installation, right? So that is our key component there. So we're very careful about picking the right products. So when we pick it, it's going to be the right one, right? And you know, and just general growth, meeting the demand, shortening our installation time frame. If you call us today, hey, I need a pod, we can say we can start it a week and a half from now if you're ready, right? So because we do get, when I said that we have customers calling and saying I will be divorced if I don't have my pod within the next 2 weeks, like that is a true story that happened on multiple occasions, right? Both ways. It's husbands or wives calling, right? So it is really, sometimes it feels like we're doing like a couples therapy, right? not a construction company, but it's all
So, sometimes you find out more information than you were hoping to necessarily find out.
I will say too, Troy, another exciting thing that we are planning on for this year is just helping out with the initiative of Pods for the Homeless. So that's something that's kind of near and dear to us. So we, that's kind of in the queue. Not to say too much more about it, but it's something that we're passionate about, and we're kind of looking at a couple different avenues to see how we can help with that. So yeah, do you want to add to that?
Homelessness is definitely one of the biggest issues here in Austin, right? And we all see it. We all feel bad about it. I mean, tell me a person who doesn't feel sorry for the people who right? It is just such an awful thing that happens to our neighbors, right? Those people are our neighbors. So both Kelly and I are very new to the city, but we considered it home, and we want to do what we can to make it a better place, right? And helping with the homelessness in Austin is one of those things that we would like to do. So we are in discussions with a few different organizations where we design actually a nomad pod that we call, which is essentially a product that is a little bit more industrial finishes, right? But it provides essentially a living space for people that could be utilized for individuals that are facing homelessness. So extremely excited about that. It's it's a side venture for us, but it's just as important as anything else for us. So we're working hard on finding something that is going to work out, and hopefully in the next 12 months we'll be able to have at least few places, right? Yeah. Even if we get 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 100 people, right? Place to stay. It's going to be huge.
It's like I say, it's obviously probably one of the bigger issues facing Austin in general. And again, there's just been, unfortunately, there's been such a polarizing divide about the way it's been handled, which again, I don't necessarily agree a whole lot with how it has been handled, but I think almost everyone agrees that there should be stuff done about it. It's just about what's a smart and efficient way to do it that way. And like I say, it's one of those where because it's such a big issue, it can seem daunting to try to solve. And again, like a lot of things in life, solving it's probably not possible. But putting a dent into it, making it better, making it, for at least even a small percentage of people is life-changing for those people. So it's a worthwhile exercise for sure. Probably, I know you guys said you could be here all day, and because this has been a lot of fun. But I know. Well, I mean, he's your boss, and so he said you guys could be here all day. So I assume you're just stuck here all day with us, Kevin.
Oh.
But no, so I've been asking people on the podcast kind of if they have either a favorite or kind of a hidden gem restaurant that they've been enjoying lately that they find interesting or want to kind of plug, because restaurants as well can use a lot of our help too.
Well, our favorite 100% is this taco truck just outside of our office on 183.
Yeah, probably just by sheer volume of how many times we've eaten there.
Yeah.
But, I would say it's actually really good tacos, and it's out by the warehouse. But
2500 South Highway 183 if anyone wants to check it.
Yeah, come say hello.
My favorite restaurant probably is Odd Dog. I know I'm going to be unoriginal by saying that, but I just love their menu. They always have something interesting there that I do enjoy.
I would say I'm just thinking almost less. I'm just thinking less restaurant. I love Codependent, but that's kind of your coffee / cocktails.
I was just there yesterday, actually.
I am there. Yeah, I love just like if I'm, quickly popping in between meetings or something and answering a few. I just love, all windows. You can see the greenery, and it kind of reminds me of, anyways, one of the pods that we built. That has the same windows and greenery kind of behind it. So, anyways, I would say again, that's not really a hidden gem, but you know what, we're in here.
But it's a place that you enjoy, so that's just cool too. Maybe that's one of the next things for the pods is you can turn the food truck into a pod, So he's got a more permanent thing, and that'll kind of be
Coffee
then
shop.
that way he can't leave you guys. He has to stay there, right behind
Yes.
the office. And,
Yes, exactly. Coffee shop, taco truck. Yeah, I like this. I like it.
Certainly.
Well, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to chat. It's been really a whole lot of fun. For people that are wanting to find out more about them, like say you can find them on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn at backyard_pod, and see a lot of cool social media stuff that I'm sure Kelly has been spearheading in that regard, and get in contact if you need more information.
Yeah.
Awesome, Troy. It's been absolute treat being here. Thank you so much for considering us. It's an honor. I had a lovely time chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I
Thanks.
appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, guys.